And we're back. Welcome back, fellow fans. Welcome back to RimWorld of Magic Explained. There apparently is no roof here. Well, that's just bad. Did I make it one too wide? That should fix the roofing problems. Anyways, welcome back, as I said. First episode about a class. We talked about the Arcane Mage. Then we talked about the Druid. Today, let's talk about the Enchanter. Now, the Enchanter does pretty much what you think it's going to do. It's going to enchant. As always, make a Gem of Arcane Insight or start with a magically gifted pawn or start with an Enchanter pawn in order to get an Enchanter. Soul is overdosing. I was going to use you, Soul, for today. I guess we're going to go with Diver instead, seeing as how Diver is not overdosing. Diver is not magically inclined. As I was saying, to get past that, use a Gem of Arcane Insight. As discussed in the first episode, to create a Gem of Arcane Insight, do it in a gem crafting table. Here we are, Diver. And now you are magically gifted. Again, you can start with a Torn Script or a Full Arcane Tome. The Full Arcane Tome gets you the everything to do with the class, whereas the Torn Script gets you a random amount of spells. You can use the Torn Script, which has already been moved, and get a few of these spells, and then slowly over time gain in magic and learn the rest of them if the Torn Script is what is available to you. Just use what's available to you. So, this is going to be a two-parter. The Enchanter's got a lot going for it. We're going to start with the defensive and offensive abilities of the Enchanter for the first part. And we're going to talk about the utility abilities for the second part. Let's start with Enchanted Body and Enchanted Aura. Okay, so there is two different spells here, but you level them both up with this. As it says here, all Enchanted Body skills apply to Enchanted Aura. The thing about Enchanted Body is it's for fighting. The thing about Enchanted Aura is it's for social. Enchanted Body gets you to grow extra limbs, increases fighting speed, really makes your social go down because you look really scary. This spell is sustained and reduces max MP. Max MP is right here. And sustained by the mana regeneration of being reduced by 30%. That's this right here. Enchanted Aura, however, you radiate a charming aura that disarms social barriers and improves social interaction and opinions. This spell is sustained and reduced in the same way by 20 max MP and by 30% mana regeneration. You can only use one or the other at one time. When you use Enchanted Body, if you already have Enchanted Aura, it will disable the enabled Enchanted Aura. But if you use Enchanted Aura while you have Enchanted Body, it will disable the enabled Enchanted Body. Now, as with always, the middle one, compliant form here, it says, reduces mana costs. This one reduces mana upkeep cost by 20% per skill level. Reduced by 60% because we did 3 skill levels of it. Adaption reduces the mana regeneration penalty by 20% per skill level. That's this thing right here, mana regen. And then mind over body increases the power by about 30% per skill level. It's about 30% because 3 of them equals 100%. So this is increased 100 times here. Unlike most of these X's, you can right-click these X's to make it auto-cast. But for Enchanted Body and Enchanted Aura, it's not auto-casted, it's just showing you which one is currently selected. Which one is currently selected. Let's go ahead and select Enchanted Aura because we're not in a battle and I don't want to scare the rest of my colonists here. Now we've got Enchant Weapon. Enchant Weapon. This is an interesting one here. This will give your weapon elemental abilities. Fire abilities deals additional burn damage and may set the target on fire. Ice enchantment reduces the efficiency of the body part that has been struck. Lightning enchantment can stun the enemy, and dark enchantment can blind the enemy because it's dark. Not not the usual kind of dark element, but it technically applies. Now, the exact amounts of cost and whatnot, of course, changes with these levels. The middle one, of course, changes the cost. This one is by 10% per skill level. This one increases the power of the weapon enchantment. With a fire and a full leveling of this particular elemental edge, you get an additional 100% average damage for fire. But for ice, you get an additional 75% average damage. And for electricity, you get an additional 75% stun damage. And for dark, you get an additional 30% application chance of blinding your opponent. Diver, why don't you go ahead and enchant this masterwork wooden sword? Okay, so for this to take effect, someone else has to be wielding it. Let's have Risa here equip this wooden sword, and then we'll enchant her wooden sword using an ability. And let's melee attack this turkey. Poor little guy, he's sleeping. He died. What else we got? Oh, hey! Here we are. It's showing it here. So it looks like it turned the sword into an electrical weapon. And that's why that turkey kept getting stunned. I wasn't 100% sure. But that's why the turkey kept getting stunned. And look at all those stunnings. And let's send our druid down here a bit. Oh, poor guy. And let's regenerate. and then poison you, and send you back home. Grab the sword. Okay. Risa has... There we are. Oh, I guess when she was down, it got disabled. But the enchant weapon, you can't choose what element it does. It's randomly one of the 4 elements. How you doing there, Risa? You okay? Okay, good, good. What do we have next? Shapeshift. Oh, now this is a fun one. Shapeshift is the master spell of the Enchanter. It can only be learned by either purchasing this scroll or writing the scroll in a scribing table. There it is. There it is. Fun thing about Shapeshift is that it turns you into a random creature. Let's show off Shapeshift first of all. Now she's a donkey. She has been removed from my pawns list. And is a donkey. Oh, there it is. It ended. Shapeshift at the earlier levels is not much. Not much. It's pretty fast. It ends pretty fast. To make it last longer, you can max your enduring transformation. Once you have level 3 of that, it is permanent until cancelled. But these require 2 magic points per one. See, we're at 27, 25, 23, 21. Now Shapeshift is permanent until cancelled. I'll have to get her food, apparently. Enhanced form. The Enchanter takes some liberties to improve the physical traits of the creature they shapeshift into, which is good because we shapeshift into a donkey. A donkey's not going to be very good. Donkey's going to be terrible. So at level 0, the current form, the current level that we're at, level 0 gets you a plus 25 physical ability, an attack speed of plus 10%, and an armor of plus 10%. And it goes up accordingly as it shows on the screen. So let's max that out. Now for the fun thing. The fun thing. Shapeshift into creatures with higher combat powers. So the donkey's the lowest. That's pretty low to turn into a donkey. If you level it up, it gets a little bit better. If you level it up, it gets a little bit better. If you level it up, watch our spells down here. Shapeshift Dire Wolf. This allows the Enchanter to shapeshift into a dire wolf. The Enchanter will retain their sense of self, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is there. Shapeshifting, not without minor side effects. Inherent instincts and behavior. Dire wolves. Here we are. Dire wolves are unique animals with a special connection to magic. While in dire wolf form, enchanters can exert small quantities of magic to allow the dire wolf to briefly phase in and out of reality. That's a bit of a fun one. That's a bit of a fun one right there. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Look at her. She's a dire wolf now. Oh, oh. I should probably slow it down. But watch her. Woo! She's blinking. Do it again. Did she run out? There we are. Look at that. blinking. Makes you run a little bit faster is what it does. What the? Did she just blink through a wall? Okay. No, she went to the door and then blinked downwards. I was about to say, I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen that. And as I said, you can cancel the shapeshift whenever you want here. A doe has self-tamed. Wow. But we're not looking for a doe. What we're looking for is a dire wolf. How do you spawn an animal? Dire wolf. There we are. There we are. It's called a dire wolf. This is probably not a good thing for me to be doing. Probably not a good thing. But now we've got a bunch of just wild dire wolves. These guys will spawn naturally in Arctic environments. They're much larger than regular wolves. And here's an Arctic wolf. Look how small it is compared to this. Yeah, yeah. I should probably leave a door open so you can get out. Thank you. And that will be all for today's defensive and offensive capabilities of the enchanters. Come back next time for the utilities of the enchanters. Bye, Fel fans!